The Prime Minister in Brussels. If you thought he had headaches at home, what he's walking into here is far more serious. 2 allies and a return to fist-bump diplomacy, but so much more is necessary. Neither the PM nor NATO sure which way this crisis is heading, but they do know the stakes are dangerously high.
The number of Russian forces is going up. The warning time for a possible attack is going down. NATO is not a threat to Russia, but we must be prepared for the worst.
Are you coming to the conclusion that President Putin actually wants this war?
To answer your question directly about what I think is going on in Moscow and the calculations that are being made there, I honestly don't think a decision has yet been taken. But that doesn't mean that it is impossible that something absolutely disastrous could happen very soon indeed. And our intelligence, I'm afraid to say, remains grim. This is probably the most dangerous moment, I would say, in the course of the next few days, in what is the biggest security crisis that Europe has faced for decades. And we've got to get it right.
The race to get it right very visible. The PM dashing from Brussels to Warsaw in Poland. 2 PMs standing shoulder to shoulder, but so much more weight on Poland, a country bordering Ukraine.
Thank you very much for sending troops.
The Polish PM grateful for UK troops, but is it enough?
Can diplomacy work, sirs? Do you send more troops, Prime Minister?
Thank you for what you're doing.
These troops already sent, some of them arrived today, deployed for any humanitarian crisis that could unfold.
What's it like being here? Fun? Yeah, really good. Really good.
But here to work, and the task daunting. The Prime Minister in difficulties at home. A tour of British troops is an easy show of strength for any beleaguered leader. But the deployment is a sign too that tensions are growing, with potentially catastrophic consequences for our eastern allies. You're announcing the deployment of troops, 350 here, 1,000 on standby. Russia has amassed more than 100,000 troops on the border. When you think about those numbers, does it frighten you a bit?
I think everybody should be in no doubt that were Russia to be so foolish, to make the catastrophic mistake of invading any part of Ukraine, the Ukrainian army, which themselves number about 200,000, maybe 150,000 in reserve, they will fight, and there will be bloodshed.
Ending his brief diplomatic mission at the presidential palace in Warsaw, those gathered here all aligned, a Prime Minister trying to tackle problems far from home, but he has plenty more to deal with in his own backyard. Beth, Rigby, Sky News, Warsaw.